Now on Coast TV News.
Snow across Delmarva. Slushy streets seen along the coast. Delmarva digs out.
I was a little bit cabin fever.
Current conditions across the peninsula. First snow, then rain.
If it gets colder, these will freeze. These roads will be very dangerous.
Now that the snow is gone, just how much ice is in our future?
This is Coast TV News at 6.
A live look at the wet roads driving north on Route 1. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Our top story tonight is this winter storm on Delmarva. We have team coverage across the peninsula tonight. Christina DeRobertis driving, showing us the current conditions of the roads in our Jeep. Reporter Emma Aiken in Milford with snow and sleet. And WBOC's Tiffany Amber in Dover with snow still covering the ground and a lot of ice making its way in. But first, let's take a look at the roads. This is Route 1 in Milford. This was just a few minutes ago. A driving restriction is in effect for most of the state, including that area. Coast TV News' Christina DeRobertis is in our First Alert Weather Jeep showing us current conditions. Christina.
Yeah, Maddie, we're heading north on Route 1 right now. We're passing through Milton, heading toward Milford. The roads, I'm going to be honest, are not great. Let me give you a look here. You can see the rain is coming, and you might think because it's not snowing anymore that the roads are okay, but they're wet, they're slick, they're slushy. There is a lot of water on the roads, especially not on the highway, but some of the back roads. So you got to be careful with that. And just a reminder, a big concern here is that a lot of this water is going to turn to ice. Remember that the bridges freeze first. Maddie, back to you.
Thank you, Christina. We just saw her on the major roads there. The city of Milford is split between Kent and Sussex County, as you know, and they're seeing most of the snow this morning, including in their back roads and neighborhoods. That's where we're going to find Coast TV's Emma Aiken. Emma, how are side streets doing up in Milford?
Maddie, it's wild how different of a scene it is out here on the side streets in Milford than it was just a few hours ago. I mean, take a look. We can see pavement now. Just a few hours ago, this was covered in white, so it's nice to see pavement again. We do have that slush mix right now, but I will say driving felt a lot better around the city than it was just a few hours ago, but still use caution. Some of those corners had big piles of snow on them from plows just doing their jobs. You can see behind me here, even some snow still spilling out into the street. This is what we have right now. It's this slush. You can hear it. It's slush. It's wet. It's very wet out here. We even saw someone shoveling while they were holding an umbrella. So certainly an interesting combination out here. Reporting live in Milford, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Thank you, Emma. Now we take a live look into Ocean City, where you can just see how slick the boardwalk is. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams has been tracking this storm all day. Paul.
Well, we tracked and we had 6.5 inches of snow fell in Dover, Milton, right here at Coast TV, 4 inches there, as well as Selbyville, just over 3.5 in Lewis, 3.5 for us in Millsboro, Dagsboro, 3.2. Couple of other locations in Cambridge, over 3 inches, nearly that in Ocean City, Nassau 2.7, 2.3 in Bethany Beach, and Laurel and Chincoteague 1.5. Now, the next phase and the greatest concern, dealing with the potential of ice. This is a specialized future ice map, and we're watching out for at least 1/4 of an inch of ice that's going to fall over in the Cambridge area. It's going to fit down to and cause problems in Princess Anne. The ice combined with the hard freezing behind all of this is the big concern. And this emptiness is a breaking story, because this means we have the winter storm warning has expired for Sussex County. However, it is still in effect for places like Cambridge and to our north throughout portions of Dover, Harrington, Riverview, Spring Hill. Coming up, we're going to talk about the danger of letting your guard down with all of this water, because it looks like the roads are safe, but they're far from it.
Thank you, Paul. And this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what's worrying you about the upcoming freeze we're going to see. 94% say dangerous roads, as Paul just alluded to. 3% say people and pets outside. 3% say frozen pipes. If you haven't voted yet, please do so in the mobile app, and we'll update you later at 11. And I know a lot of people are wondering, do I have to go to school tomorrow? Is it closed? let me just tell you, yeah, pretty much all of our local districts are closed. We've been running closures all day. We have them on our website and our app right on the home screen there. We'll run them for you. Libraries, businesses, courts just emailed in that they're closing tomorrow. So again, assume it's closed, but stay with us and we will have the updated closures throughout the evening. And be sure to download our Coast TV app for your phone and tablet. We've had special coverage all weekend on that app. And in case you didn't know, you can always get our newscasts there, also via Roku, Fire, and Apple TV. Making our way a little bit further north, a live look into Dover. Kent County has saw a fair amount of snow today, and that's where WBOC's Tiffany Amber is in Dover. Tiffany.
Good evening. Yeah, it is still a winter wonderland here in Kent County. Now, all that fluffy and light snow we saw earlier has turned into this rainy, icy, snowy mix that we're standing in right now. I wanted to show you a little bit of the ice that formed within the past hour. Take a look at the side of our car here. It is just covered completely in ice. Now, if the side of the car looks like this, you can only imagine what the roads look like. But in case you're worried about my phone getting water damage right now, there is no need to worry, because a few hours ago when my photographer and I got in, we drove around to neighborhoods and side streets and highways all around Dover, and a few times we got stuck. Well, one of those times I got out to shovel and help pull our car out of the snow, and lo and behold, my phone must have fallen out. Well, I didn't notice until around 30 minutes later, and when I retraced my steps, I found my phone right here laying in the middle of Route 13, covered in around 10 inches of snow. Now, if that were to happen right now, it would be covered in ice. So I guess it was, the better end of the stick. But if you need another sign besides that one to stay inside and avoid travel, take a look at our car. We are currently in the Dover Bureau parking lot because our car is stuck. We cannot move. The tires keep circling. So stay inside and avoid travel if possible, or you might have to go live in the Dover Bureau parking lot like us. Back to you.
Thank you, Tiffany. And again, there are driving restrictions in Kent and Newcastle just for essential personnel. In Sussex, it's advisory. As we look into Lewis, this was the scene just before our broadcast. And Lewis is where we find Coast TV News anchor Charlie Sakaitis. And Charlie, the first town is kind of a ghost town.
Down here on 2nd Street in Lewis, normally it's the place to be, but if you look behind me, there is not a single car on this road. And follow me over this way. I don't know how clearly you guys are going to be able to see it. Closed signs on every single place up and down 2nd Street. In fact, the only place that we saw that was open was Rose and Crown, which is just around the corner. Some people are at the bar watching the games tonight. But here it has been pouring on us for hours, at times heavily. And as you can see, the road is actually reasonably clear here because of all that rain coming down. It's just been falling on us all day. We had the snow in the morning. It is completely changed, and we'll have to see if some of this freezes up by the time we come back to you guys tonight at the 11 o'clock show. So for now, from Lewis, for Coast TV News, I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
Neighbors shoveling in Georgetown, more conditions seen in Sussex County today. And more team coverage on the storm scattered throughout Delmarva. We have live updates on conditions when we're back right after this break.
This is Coast TV News at 6.
Let's show you what Georgetown looked like today. This was in the Cinderberry Estates neighborhood. Nobody was out this morning except for Georgetown Public Safety plows. Georgetown seeing a lot of the snow, but again, the story now is shifting to rain and ice. And coming up next, Paul Williams, who is in our Coast TV First Alert Weather Center, will have that full forecast right after this. And after that, flights are canceled. Conditions at our local airports will break it down for you.
We were concerned about getting 3 to 6 inches of ice along Highway 13 and 2 to 5 actually in a mix throughout portions of Ocean City. Things worked out pretty close to what we were concerned for. We're still concerned with ice over in Cambridge, 3.1 inches of snow fell. At least 2 inches of snow fell in Seaford, 3 for us in Salisbury, 4 in Selbyville, 3.5 Millsboro, 3.6 in Lewis, 2.5, just over 2.5 in Berlin, and 1.5 actually Chincoteague. Here's where the precipitation lies now, mainly changing over to rain with a good deal of sleet to our northwest. Now, we no longer have an active winter storm warning for Sussex, but for Bucktown, Cambridge area, it's still active until 7 o'clock and until further notice, along with gale force wind concerns along the other side of the peninsula. Now, this has become a massive rain situation, and it's keeping the roads a bit on the wet side. Now, you might think that this is a good thing, but it has a hidden danger there because of the refreezing that can occur. In Cambridge, you can see along the camera, we see the icicles beginning to form there as well. Look for that same kind of situation for the roads, especially with future ice up to 1/4 inch expected for us in Cambridge. And then another one of our maps deals with future ice is we're looking at this wave right here from Georgetown, Ellendale, Seaford along Highway 13, the best opportunity for additional ice. Now, I wanted to demonstrate something for you. You see how these roads are in Salisbury right now, looking very slick, and they've been well taken care of with all the salting and all the priming. But black ice is the concern, because you got to remember, black ice really isn't black. It's actually a very thin layer of ice that will cause your vehicle to skid because it's so thin that it's practically transparent, making it hard to spot. That's our primary concern, especially with additional moisture pushing across into the early morning hours. We may get a touch, I'd call that a cameo appearance of some snow briefly for Monday, and then it dissipates quickly. We'll have more winds coming out of the northwest, keeping it cold, and you'll notice we're well below freezing, 12 degrees to start the morning off on Tuesday. We've been talking about the cold behind the snow being the main villain in this entire saga or story. Now, you got to remember, avoid prolonged exposure to cold, dress in multiple layers, know the signs of hypothermia, safely warm your home, never use an oven, drink warm beverages, and protect your pets. Why am I going over that? Here's why. Tuesday, we're going to feel like 3 to 2 to 4 degrees below freezing with our wind chill. We'll go to near zero or slightly above it on Wednesday, and then the haymaker hits us, actually. We're looking at -5 in Ellendale, then -10 by the time we get to Friday. So we're out of the red alert day, but we're now in a yellow alert day because of the cold. Keep that in mind. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. It's not only cold today and tomorrow, but all week long.
You can hear the waves crashing in Ocean City. The coastal town saw its fair share of rough waves, snow, and rain throughout the day. That's where Coast TV News reporter Kevin Zappe is live in OC. Kevin, a lot of water, not as much snow.
Maddie, we're live along Coastal Highway. And if you look right behind me, you'll see that the main roads are clear of any snow. And if you follow me over here, you'll see the back roads and side streets are also clear. But we spoke with some drivers today who say they still plan to hunker down inside for the rest of the night because they're concerned that this rain could turn to black ice. Now, that's something we'll be updating you on at 11. Maddie, back to you.
Driving through Salisbury, conditions there and what the state of emergency in Salisbury applies to. Up next. We have some breaking news that came in since we've been on the air. State of Delaware offices in all 3 counties will be closed Monday, January 26th. That's during all normal business hours. Now, non-essential employees don't come into work. Essential employees, though, for the state of Delaware must go in as scheduled. And there's a state of emergency in the city of Salisbury, that's what you're looking at right now, which means offices are closed there tomorrow, trash pickup is delayed, and everyone is told to stay home. As part of our team coverage, that's where we find WBOC's Kyle Orens.
Maddie, I know time is limited, so we're going to keep it moving. Let's start with the weather, dealing with a little bit of rain here in Salisbury, not freezing rain, just rain. And it is drizzling a little bit. It has been pouring off and on, though, for the past few hours. And what that rain has done, it has turned everything into just a sloppy mess out here for some of the side streets, like the one we're on right now. Maybe plows haven't paid a whole lot of attention here. This is what they look like. It is drivable, especially if you have a car or a truck with 4-wheel drive. So not too bad. What I do want to point out, though, some of these standing water, some of this melted snow that you're seeing right there, that's going to be a concern as we stretch into tonight as temperatures drop. That is expected to freeze over, and that obviously is going to worsen some of the driving conditions here in Salisbury. We'll keep our eye on that over the next couple of hours. Maddie, back to you.
Kyle, thank you. As we transition from snow to rain and ice, please stay with us. Up next, we'll have more conditions on the coast from today. Hear what first responders saw up next. Those were road conditions in Selbyville, where snowplow drivers cleared streets and neighbors cleared sidewalks. Down Route 54 in Fenwick Island, the roads were wet, but snow was cleared pretty quickly. Plows and police were both active on the beach today.
Our town maintenance guys have been doing amazing since the wee hours of the morning, tackling out the snow. It was a very powder-like, so the wind caused it, coming off the ocean, caused it to just blow until like about a foot tall in certain areas, which caused a little problem at first, but these guys got it plowed, got it cleared. So far, no accidents in town right now, just monitoring everything and keeping it flow.
Corporal Bear said South Bethany police were primarily monitoring Coastal Highway. And because of the winter storm, flights have been canceled, well, pretty much everywhere. I checked BWI. Every single flight was canceled. Same with Reagan. Salisbury Airport, same thing. Philly, though, mostly canceled. There were a few delayed flights as well. As we take a live look outside into Dover, one final check on your forecast after this.
Live look at radar indicating that the snow has transitioned over to rain for just about all of Sussex County. Now, we're no longer under a winter storm warning for Sussex officially. However, we do have that same warning active over in portions of Cambridge and those regions. We're going to stay with the rain for the most part for the entire peninsula. You can see that area of sleet that's continuing to push across the region. The low pressure system is off the backside of it. It's creating an opportunity for a bit of rain. Now, keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, Mandalis, and Federico. Now, remember, we've been talking about the big concern is really dealing with that cold. We're on a yellow alert day for Monday because of the cold, and we're going to stay very concerned for the rest of the week.
Thank you, Paul, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6. For more news and local weather, you can download our news apps and join us tonight at 11. Until then, be safe.